to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
So tonight's agenda, we're going to certify the report that we're going to receive tonight from the elections office, and we're going to discuss further proceedings with candidates. Before we go forward, I just want to briefly address the public and the persons assembled. It was brought to my attention that there is a lot of talk going around that has excited the public. I want to be clear. The only facts that exist in this case are going to be revealed this evening. Prior to this evening, no one has any facts. The truth is 8069. That is the total number of signatures that was collected. None were added, none were taken away. That is a fact. We're going to hear some other numbers tonight, but those might change over time as the result of objections. But that's it. Anyone telling the public otherwise doesn't have the facts. We're going to hear them tonight for the first time. With that, Mr. Clerk.
I present that again, Mr. Reyes, to present the report of the election division.
The following are the results of verification of voter signatures to determine the voter registration status of the petitions submitted to the office of the city clerk for the Constitutional Foundation for Transparency in Government. The verification process was conducted on December 4, 2015, through and including December 9, 2015, and fourth to determine the voter registration status of each signature appearing on the petition. The result of the review is as follows. Total signatures reviewed were 8,069. Total registered voters in the 2013 city election was 37,635. Total registered voter signatures required, which was 15% of the 37,635, is 5,645. Signatures verified by the election division was 4,990.
Based on that report of the election division, I present that in the form of a motion for certification. This is the same report that was provided on Friday for acceptance of the report only.
I second the motion.
Motion being second for certification. All in favor on the board? Aye. 3-0, motion passes. The results are certified. I'll pass around to the board members the certification report, and signatures for certification will be added. And I'll use that as an original. Certified and the results. I was hoping the city attorney would be here, but apparently he's not. Oh, I'm sorry. If you want to join us, Attorney Barney, I think the next step, Mr. Chair, is
I'm sure I want to join you.
I know. I'll leave if you want to stay.
Bring you over there.
You have the good stuff. Schedule. Mr. Tavis.
You want to say?
Yeah, please. Yeah. So how are we going to proceed now? Next is general objections. I presume one or both of you are going to be filing objections.
Well, we haven't, I can't speak for Fred Fair, I know we haven't determined what we're gonna do yet, we have 48 hours, I believe, in the statute, so. Mr. Chair, if I may, I wanted to provide the parties with a hard copy and this copy of what we have. I didn't think it would make it by email if I sent it by email anyway. And that might at least give you something tactically to work with. And then it will be open until 5 o'clock on Wednesday to receive documentation and suggestions to provide hard copy rather than just email to the office of the city clerk and or the election division, but I will be here till 5 to receive those objections. Is that okay with you guys?
Yes, if I could just add to that.
Sure.
Given the fact that there are objections, I know I've had several conversations with Attorney Tibby, and generally speaking, I don't have a problem with accepting emails, but in the case of objections, I think it's imperative that they be stamped, date and time stamped in, and so forth, and that they need to be presented in person. So I would just make that as a recommendation, at least for that purpose, if nothing else.
You're speaking about the general objections that are due Wednesday, 5 o'clock.
Yes. 48 hours. 48 hours from the certification, and certification took place now. Yeah, time-wise, but I mean generally, you know, it's the election office typically closes at 4:30 for purposes of these functions. It stays open until 5 for purposes of the recall.
So do we want to set the time date to meet again?
Mr. Chairman, I think that if there have been no objections filed yet, as much as I think it would be convenient to do that, I think that we should wait to see that if objections are filed and then schedule it. In addition, I do want to call the board's attention to the fact that there is a requirement in 55B that says that once an objection is received, the hearing of the objection cannot begin until the second Monday after the deadline for the filing. And I'm not sure that that's applicable. I'm just looking at it this evening in anticipation of proceedings.
That's no sooner.
No sooner than. So assuming that it were, assuming that an objection were received by Wednesday, then that would mean that the following Monday we couldn't do it. The Monday after that we couldn't do it, but then sometime thereafter you could schedule the hearing, which, by the way, perhaps by design, would provide both sides with ample opportunity. I know there's been a lot of discussion as to what time would be needed for specific objections. And there being something in the neighborhood of 8,000 signatures to be reviewed, would there be sufficient time if we were to schedule something in 4 or 5 days? Well, if by ordinance we can't hold this for at least a week and a half, that would certainly give ample time. And so what I would suggest is, again, that you wait and see if any objections are filed. If there are none, then the proceeding is ended. If there are objections filed, then the clerk can look at the calendar, schedule something, and provide notice to both sides. And then by giving the notice of the date when the hearing commences, they know that they have to provide specific objections 3 days prior to that.
Thank you.